everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. It had been nearly a year since Holly Willoughby last shared a couch with Phillip Schofield. The air between them, once filled with laughter and effortless banter, had become thick with silence and distance. After Philip's shocking exit from This Morning amidst scandal, the duo that once seemed inseparable became two names carefully separated in press articles, interviews, and award ceremonies. Holly had carried on with grace, but never quite with the same sparkle. And Phillip had disappeared from the spotlight, until now. On a chilly Monday morning, the ITV studios buzzed with quiet anticipation. Rumors had swirled for weeks. A potential reunion, a surprise guest, something that would change everything. Holly, ever the professional, hadn't flinched. She'd faced public scrutiny before. But today, she felt a strange flutter in her chest. Something was different. Clad in a soft lavender blouse, she took her usual spot on the iconic This Morning sofa. The camera rolled. Josie Gibson sat beside her with a cheeky grin, clearly in on the secret. And now, Josie said with a twinkle in her eye, "We have a very special guest joining us. He's no stranger to this sofa. In fact, he's practically stitched into its fabric." Holly's smile twitched. She turned toward the entrance, expecting maybe a funny pre-recorded segment. Instead, the studio doors opened, and in walked Phillip Schofield. There was an audible gasp in the room. The cameras caught it all. Holly's stunned expression, her eyes blinking back emotion, the hesitation in her movement before she stood up. Phillip looked older, more humbled. His signature silver hair was neatly combed, and his suit was simple. No flashy tie, no bravado. Just a quiet man with something to say. "Holly," he said softly, stopping just short of an embrace. "Phil," she whispered. For a moment, the whole set seemed to freeze. Then, in a move that felt both rehearsed by fate and raw in its spontaneity, Holly stepped forward and wrapped her arms around him. It wasn't a long hug, but it was real. The kind that said, "We've been through hell, but I'm still here." The audience at home went wild. Twitter exploded. #Holly and Phil trended within 5 minutes. Back on the couch, the energy shifted. Josie made a graceful exit to give them space. For the first time in nearly a year, Holly and Phillip sat side by side. And then he began. "I has to come today because I owe you, the viewers, and most of all, this woman beside me. An honest conversation," he said, his voice steady, but thick with emotion. "I didn't leave well. I hurt people. I lost myself. But I spent the last year trying to rebuild, not my image, but my soul." Holly nodded, her eyes glassy. "There were moments," she said, "when I wasn't sure we'd ever sit like this again. I was angry, hurt, but most of all confused. Because what we had was real, on and off that screen." Phillip looked at her, grateful. "You were the sister I never had. And I let that break. But I never stopped wishing you well." The next 20 minutes were television gold, raw, unscripted, and genuinely emotional. Phillip spoke candidly about therapy, making amends with his family, and stepping away from the need to perform. When Holly asked what finally gave him the courage to return, he smiled sheepishly. "I saw a clip of us from 2019. You were laughing so hard you snorted. I remember thinking, that was the last time I felt like me. I knew I couldn't go back in time, but maybe, just maybe, I could ask for grace." And Holly gave it to him, not just in words, but in presence. She didn't sugarcoat the pain. She didn't pretend nothing had changed. But she extended something rare in today's world. Compassion without conditions. "We can't undo what's happened," she said. "But maybe we can write a new chapter, on our own terms." Phillip didn't ask to return to the show. In fact, he made it clear he had no plans to. This was about closure, he said, not a comeback. But that didn't stop fans from pleading in the comments, "Bring him back. Holly and Phil forever. This Morning isn't the same without the magic." When the segment ended, the two hosts stood once more. Philip took Holly's hand and kissed it gently. "I'm proud of you," he said. She smiled. "And I'm proud of the man you're becoming." As he walked off set, there was no applause, only quiet reverence. The kind of silence that follows something sacred. A reunion not built on ratings or PR, but on honesty, vulnerability, and the unpredictable beauty of forgiveness. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Netflix World 24 YouTube channel for more update news.